Vera, we've had a lot of interest from viewers about when it comes to eating right, when you suffer from hair loss. Is there anything in particular that viewers need to understand?
Yes, the one issue that is really very important is your gut. If your gut is not working well, then it means that nutrients from your food will not be able to get up into your hair follicles. And in this context, it's very, very important that you make sure that you do not have a problem that's known as leaky gut syndrome.
What does leaky gut actually mean, Vera?
Well, with your gut, with your intestines, they normally have walls that have tightly packed cells. A leaky gut means that the tightness of the cells has been compromised, which means the gut walls are beginning to have holes in them. And that can be a real problem, because if you have holes in the gut wall, then whole bits of food can go directly in your bloodstream, and that can cause toxicity in the body. It can cause inflammation in the body, and that of course then can lead to all sorts of hair problems and also to problems with hair loss.
Can you explain what can lead to leaky gut?
There are a variety of reasons. If you're very stressed, that can actually in itself cause a leaky gut. But there are other more obvious reasons. For example, I find in my research and when I do the hair sample tests that many people seem to have the leaky gut because of toxic metals. They can come from the fillings in your teeth, if you're eating a lot of fish, which have metals in them. It can also come from invasive organisms such as fungi or candida. It can come from parasites. They can also compromise the integrity of your gut walls. And it can also come from eating the wrong foods, actually. You know, you may find that hard to believe, but eating the wrong foods can also cause the gut to be compromised.
Right. Vera, what is your advice if someone is suffering from leaky gut? What foods are important to eat and what foods should they avoid?
The foods that will be important to avoid are grains of any kind. That would be wheat, barley, you know, could be rice to some people, it can be rye, but wheat is one of the main ones that will make the gut worse, especially if you have an intolerance to the wheat. And again, that, you know, that's what I'm testing with a hair sample test to find out, do you have a problem with wheat? Other foods to avoid tend to be alcohol, coffee as well. They don't do much good. It will be also very important to have a bit more meat in your diet. Meat in small quantities can be very, very helpful, to such an extent where I'd say if you are vegetarian or even vegan, it may be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to heal the leaky gut. Because when you have a leaky gut, grains are a problem. Milk products can also be a problem. So those are the two areas that you will need to stay away from once it's been established that you've got a leak.
What about drinking water? Is that important?
Drinking water is definitely a very important issue, in that you need to, if you have toxins in the body, you need to have something to dilute the acid that is created through the toxins. Toxins can come again from heavy metals, they can come from invasive organisms like bacteria, fungi, parasites for example, or they can also come from eating the wrong foods. All that will make the body very acidic. If you have a lot of acid in the body, it's really bad for your hair. So drinking water as such is very, very important. 8 large glasses a day, but it should be good quality water. And I've been researching into that for the last 10, 11 years. And initially I used to tell people, get yourself a charcoal filter to filter the tap water. And I'd certainly still say that. Get at least a charcoal filter. Because the water we have today, the quality is actually not as good as it could be. You have lots of chemicals, and you have got lots of pharmaceuticals in the water now, which you can imagine, you know, so many people, so many women are on the pill all this is not being filtered out by the water companies. So that is still in the water. So men who drink tap water will get a dose of estrogens. And, you know, that is really quite serious. The same for women who, you know, whose hormonal balance is being slightly disturbed by drinking tap water. So the very least I would say is have a charcoal filter, if nothing else. But now I start telling my clients, please make sure you have an even better filtration system where you also have charcoal filters but also reverse osmosis to make sure that the water is as good as it can be.
Okay.